Hello everybody, Coleman here, back with the 40 plus screenwriters course. And I'm out here today walking in downtown Indianapolis. I usually take me a walk or go to the gym because I consider exercise to be paramount for any successful thing that you want to do. Which is the reason why I thought of asking you some health questions on the quiz. Really, your physical and mental health is probably more important than learning anything that I have to teach you. As a matter of fact, it is the foundation for everybody, and especially screenwriters who are 40 years old or older. The reason being that when you start off on this challenge, when you're really stepping into screenwriting as a second career, remember that it is just that. It is a second career. And in order to be prosperous and successful, you have to be healthy. Health is the foundation. It is the number one foundation of this course, because if you're not mentally focused, if you're not mentally healthy, you can count everything for nothing. Number one, you're not going to take the time to actually sit there and write your script. You're not going to have the stamina to go through and do what you need to do. I mean, what good is it for you to put your hands to the plow and then have to give it up because your health is failing? People over 40 face health challenges that other people don't face. And so that's the reason I consider health to be the number one foundation for any screenwriter 40 years old or older. And it really includes, I mean, we have to talk about your mental well-being. And I'll give you an example of myself. I started off writing self-help books, actually. I had worked for the Indiana Family and Social Service Administration for a number of years. I worked in mental health clinics and, since the 80s. And I had a setback myself. I had two deaths that occurred back to back. One was the death of my stepdaughter, who died when she was 26 years old. Automobile accident. I came out of that and came right back. She was in Columbus, Ohio. She was a news reporter for WNBC in Columbus, Ohio. So I came out of that and I came back from Columbus to Indiana, and my sister at that time was in hospice for cancer, and she was several years younger than I am. And I have to go back and say this. When my stepdaughter passed, I watched the light go out in my wife's eyes, and I took off a year to take care of her. And but in all this taking care of, I neglected my own health. I just went around, even though I knew that it was a traumatic event and that both of us suffered from that, from both deaths. I just kept going. And I got to the point where I was still working, and my mind kind of fractured one day because of all of this underlying current of never getting help, never going to grief counseling and all of that. And because I had worked in state mental health facilities and just about every mental health clinic in the city of Indianapolis, I was too ashamed to actually get help for myself, because I thought that I knew it all. But I didn't know it all. But I ended up signing my own self into a clinic for depression because I was at the bottom. And long story short, I got help from a well-known psychiatrist and stuff, and I was telling them that, I had been writing books, but now I was no longer able to actually focus on what I was doing. And he told me something that, a lot of people might not agree with, but some of you who have had mental health challenges know that sometimes when, you're suffering from post-traumatic stress or some other type illness from a traumatic event, you're not going to be the same person. Your brain chemistry is going to change. And I was telling them, man, I used to could sit down here for hours and just write, and he was like, you have to accept the fact that you're no longer going to be able to do a lot of stuff that you used to do. And this may be your new normal. And I was like, oh shit, I don't want this new normal and stuff. But I ended up getting some help and stuff. And I probably talk to him now even once a year and stuff. But I mention that because your mental health, and everybody knows that, sometimes people compare physical jobs to, sitting behind the desk as being less challenging. That is not the fact. So I wanted to talk about health. I wanted you to actually take take the quiz, find out where you at, because if you're going to start out on this journey, you're going to have to be mentally and physically up for the challenge. There is no sense in starting anything if your health is bad. As a matter of fact, you're not going to be able to write that script, and even if you do start, you're not going to be able to finish. So before anything else, make sure that you're up for the challenge. Make sure that you get your checkups. It is crucial, men and women, 40 years old and older, to make sure that they take care of themselves physically and mentally. I'll be back with the next video.